Oh, we are live. Hello boys and girls, a very good evening and welcome to this live session on Quantitative Aptitude brought to you by Govt and TalentSprint as a part of the IBPS PO Refresher series. I hope all of you are doing well, you are healthy, and so is your preparation for the IBPS PO exam, which is to start from the 7th of October, right? I'm sure by now you must have got to know your date of examination, the slot in which you're going to appear for the most competitive exam of the year, right? And you should now strategize your preparation for the last few days accordingly, right? I mean, you may have your exam on the 7th or the 8th of October or 14th or 15th, right? So based on whether you have 7 days or 14 days left, plan it accordingly and maximize your chances of selection, right? I think the one thing that I would like to say is focus more on getting the right frame of mind than anything else in this period of time that you have, right? I'm sure you have practiced enough already. You have prepared for this exam over the last 2-3 months or maybe more than that. But it's high time now that you start focusing on, having that confidence to go and take this exam really well, right? It's not just about knowledge, it's also about your state of mind. You should be able to handle that pressure. You should not feel too nervous during the examination, and that also comes through practice, right? That can be done only through practice. So kind of meditate and keep yourselves positive in these last few days and walk into the examination center with full of confidence so that you can maximize your scores and boost your chances of selection. Now I can see that a lot of you have joined the session already. Thank you for joining us. You can see that there is a chat box right beside the video screen which you can use to interact with us. All right, so please make the most of the chat box available and get started. Right now, session today, like you all know, is on quantitative aptitude. This is session number 6 as a part of the IBPS PO Refresher series. We have already had 2 sessions on reasoning, 2 sessions on English language, and 1 on quantitative aptitude. And this is going to be the second session on quantitative aptitude and the last of the subject related sessions, right? We have just 1 more session left, which will be done on the Wednesday, which is 4th of October at 6 p.m. and that is going to be on general exam strategy, right? We'll not be discussing any subject related content there. It's just about how you should behave in that 1 hour of the exam so that again you can improve your chances of selection. All right, now what are we going to do here? Like you all must have noticed, this is this session has been brought to you by the partnership between Govt and TalentSprint. So Govt has provided us some of the most difficult questions, right, found by the students in their mock exams, and we are going to discuss the solutions to those questions here. So if you are all ready, we can get started. Yeah, should I share my screen? So I've got a presentation of questions here which I'll share with all of you. You can look at the question, try it yourself, and then we will discuss the solution, right? Should we start? Yeah, so I think a lot of you are ready there. You have acknowledged that we can get started. So let me share my screen. We are going to start with a couple of data interpretation questions, right? Data interpretation sets, and then we'll move on to some independent questions as well. Okay, so you know that in the recent past, we have seen that the type of data interpretation questions being asked have changed, right? Earlier, it used to be about, data of some company or data of a few countries over a few years, but now they're asking questions from arithmetic ability concepts through data interpretation, like questions on time and work, questions on time and distance, questions on profit and loss through data interpretation. So we'll be taking up at least one such DI type in the session today and one general one. So let me present the first set to you all, which is on your screens now. So you can see that here we have a kind of bar graph which gives you some data. So what does it say? Study the following graph carefully and answer the questions that follow, right? So what is this graph all about? The following graph shows the revenue in $1 million of 3 companies in their initial 6 years of operations in an economy which is characterized by a persistent inflation. So basically it's talking about a graph which shows the revenue of 3 companies. Now what are the 3 companies? Snapdeal, Amazon and Flipkart, right? The blue bars represent Snapdeal, the red ones are for Amazon and the green ones are for Flipkart. in their initial 6 years of operations. So these are the 6 years of operations, right? First year, second year, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. right? In an economy which is characterized by persistent inflation, right? So we will see if that has to be understood in detail when we answer the question. So I think graph is very simple. Like I had mentioned to you all in the session 1 as well, you got to understand the data very clearly before you proceed with the questions, right? You should be able to, you should be very clear as to what all can be extracted from the graph before you start solving the question. So I think this is a very simple one. We know about the revenue of 3 different companies over 6 different years. Like for example, if I have to find out what is the revenue of Snapdeal in the year 1. Now Snapdeal in year 1, look at this blue graph, right? It is exactly coinciding with that first segment here, right? See, if you see the y-axis, we have got 500, 1000, 1500 and so on, right? These are the marked values. If you see 0 to 500, there are 5 divisions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each division is equal to 100. Then 500 to 1000 also, there are 5 divisions. So basically each horizontal line, each thin line there in the background is equivalent to 100. So if you see Snapdeal in the first year is exactly 100. How about Amazon? Amazon is 200. How about Flipkart? Flipkart you see is between 100 and 200, exactly between 100 and 200. So it should be taken as 150, right? I'm sure all of you know how to read the graph there. So very simple, we know the revenue in $1 million of 3 companies over 6 years. That's the data we have, all right? Let's now look at the first question. So the first question from this data is on your screens now. Yeah, so here it says the difference in the average percentage increase in the revenues from 4th year to 6th year of Snapdeal and Amazon is. So it's asking us to find out the difference. Difference in what? The average percentage increase in the revenues. From which years? From 4th year to 6th year. Of which 2 companies? Snapdeal and Amazon. So I'll leave you with this for about a minute. Your time starts now. You can see the graph on the right hand side of your screen and the question towards the left. And this also tells us gives us some data about how students have performed, right? The average time was 116 seconds, which is close to 2 minutes, right? Almost 2 minutes. And the accuracy is only 27%. Only 27%. Supriya, by the way, has asked us a question here that observing data takes a lot of time in exam. Can we reduce that time somehow? Or can we write it on paper once? No. Definitely no for your second question. Don't copy the data on paper. It makes no sense. You'll just be wasting your precious time by doing that. Observing, yes, can take time, but this is a simple graph. I think you should be clear with what all can be extracted in about 10 seconds of your observation here, right? So waiting for you all to respond to this question. I think Karthik Kapoor is the first one to answer this, and he says it should be option B. Karthik has got B. Sunil Gupta has also got B. Waiting for more responses. Anil Kiran has also got B. Good. So I think all of you got the same answer, option B so far. Let's hear out from your friends as well. Option B. All right. Renuka has got B. Supriya has also got option 2. Suvidha has got B. Swagatika has got 47.38, which again is option 2. But on the other hand, we have Gautam who has got option 1, 35.56. Kiran has got 59.21, which is option 4. Malbika Mohanty is marked the answer as 3, 50.79. Chiranjit Behra has got 59.21, option 4. Akash Trivedi has also got 59.21. So I think a lot of confusion has arisen now, right? Option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4. All these 4 options have been marked except option 5. Nobody has marked option 5 yet, right? 55.43. I would like to wait for a few more seconds. I know that the time is up, right? But I want more and more people to respond to this one, right? It's just that there are 2-3 steps involved, and then it's all about the way you do your calculations, right? You have to be really quick in playing with those numbers. So let's say about 30 more seconds for more people to respond, and then we look at the solution. Yeah, I think clearly the majority here has got B as the answer, and then I think it follows by C. Like Khushbu Lakhani has got C, right? And Abdul has got C, he's got 50.21, which is close to option 3. Nagaraju says it should be less than 50 and around 50%, and hence I'm marking the answer as option 2, 47.38. Rohit says it should be D, 59.21. Good. So I think almost all the first options have been covered except the fifth one, like I've mentioned already, right? Maximum students have got 47.38, followed by 50.79, followed by 59.21, and then I think a few of you have also got 35.56. So let's look at the solution now, right? Enough time has been given. Let's take up the solution, right? Yeah, more and more answers coming in. I know the longer I wait, the more responses we would get. So let's discuss the solution. I know it is a little time consuming. This cannot be solved in like 30 seconds, but you can cut down a lot of steps, right? Always remember, the solution here may look lengthy because I'm explaining it to you in detail, right? But when you do it yourself, try to write as less as possible on paper, right? Try to do calculations mentally as much as possible, and then save your precious time. So let me discuss the solution for this first question on data interpretation from the session today. Here we go. So the question says the difference in the average percentage increase in revenues from 4th year to 6th year of Snapdeal and Amazon is. So we are talking about two companies here, Snapdeal and Amazon, right? Snapdeal and Amazon. You know that Snapdeal is this blue bar here and Amazon is the red ones. From which year to which year? From 4th year to 6th year. Now what is the value of Snapdeal in 4th year? I think it is 300 and then 350, right? 350. How about Amazon? Amazon is 450, right? Amazon is 450. Then in 6th year, what are the values? In 6th year, I think Snapdeal is exactly in line with this 1200, right? So it is 1200, I guess. And Amazon is what? I think Amazon is 2000, right? Amazon is 2000. I mean, that's what you will have to do in the exam also, right? Try to meet the y-axis there. So we have got the numbers here, right? I think 350 in the first year, Snapdeal. It becomes 1200 in the 6th year, from 4th year to 6th year. Whereas Amazon, from 450, it has reached up to 2000. These are all revenues, right? Revenues in $1 million. But we are not worried about the units. See, understand that the question here is on percentage. He's talking about percentage increase. So when it is about percentage increase, don't worry about the units there, right? No conversion is required, and we don't really have to worry about the units of measurement. Now, what do we have to find out? We have to find out the difference. Difference in what? The average percentage increase. Now, first of all, what is percentage increase? Percentage increase is final minus initial by initial into 100. Very, very important concept from the topic of percentage, right? Percentage change. Percentage change is always the final value minus the initial value upon the initial value into 100. Final minus initial by initial into 100. This is what we need to find out for these two companies for the given 2 years. Now, what is the final value here? Final values are the values in the year number 6. Initial values are the values in year number 4. So for both the companies, find out the percentage changes. Percentage change can be an increase or a decrease. Here is talking about increase. I mean, clearly the values have increased, right? 350 has become 1200, 450 has become 2000. So these are increments. So find out the percentage change. Percentage change for, let's say, Snapdeal. Right, how much is the percentage change from Snapdeal? Final value is 1200 minus 350. 1200 minus 350 divided by 350 into 100. I think it is here where you need to cut down a few steps, right? I mean, you should not be writing this. Now, I am putting it up so that you can follow how we have arrived at the answer. But you should know that it is 1200 minus 350 by 350. So 1200 minus 350 is how much? 1200 minus 350 is 850, right? 850 by 350. 850 by 350. So you should directly write 850 by 350. In fact, you should say 85 by 35 into 100. 85 by 35 into 100. Now, how much will this be? How much will this be? 85 by 35. You understand? 850 by 350 into 100. Or keep it as it is. 850 by 350 into 100. Right? Or you can simplify if you want to. So I think this is. Achha, let's keep it as it is because there are more calculations involved. I'll tell you what we have found so far is only the percentage change, right? We have not gone to the average percentage change. He's asking us to find out average percentage change. What we have done is only the percentage change. Now let me do the same percentage change for the other company as well, right? Percentage change for, what's the other company? Amazon, right? Percentage change for Amazon. How much will that be? Final value is 2000. So 2000 minus 450 is the initial value upon 450 into 100. So 2000 minus 450 is 1550. 1550 by 450 into 100. Now understand what has he asked? What has he asked us to find out? Average percentage change. What we have done so far is only the percentage increase. Average percentage increase. See, this percentage increase is over a span of 3 years, right? From 4th year to 5th year and from 5th year to 6th year. So whatever percentage increase we get here, this is for 2 periods, from 4th to 5th and from 5th to 6th. Similarly, this percentage change also is for 2 periods, from 4th to 5th and 5th to 6th. So when you want the average percentage increase, when you want to include average in this calculation, you have to divide this result by 2. Divide this by 2. You're getting it? Why do we have to divide by 2? Because we are looking for average percentage increase. This is the overall percentage increase from 4th year to 6th year. But average for 2 years, right? From 4th to 5th and then from 5th to 6th. So divide by 2. So if I have to consider average, I'll divide this by 2. So multiply the denominator by 2. Here also if I have to consider average percentage change, I will multiply the denominator by 2. Right? Now look at it. I think you can forget about the hundreds and all. It is simply 850 by 700 or 85 by 70. And how much is this? 1550 by 1550 or 155 by 90. You understand? See, I'm neglecting the zeros here, right? Zeros are anyway cancelled. So 85 by 35 into 270, and this is 155 by 45. I'm not worried about into 100 because that anyway is a percentage calculation. And if you know how to do percentage based calculations quickly, you would know that 100 is not supposed to be used. I mean, you should avoid using 100 in your calculation and then directly get the percentage answer here. Now, it's all about split and merge. We have discussed this in our speed math videos, right? Speed math videos, that how do we do percentage based calculations quickly by using split and merge. So I will split 85 as 70 plus 15. 85 is 70 plus 15, right? It can be split as 70 plus 15. So 70 by 70 is, you understand, 85 by 70, right? 85 by 70 is what we have. So 70 by 70 is like 1, right? 70 by 70 is 1. So it's like 100%. And 85 by, and 15 by 70. 15 by 70 is like approximately 20%. See, 10% for 70 is 7. 7, if 10% is 7, 20% will be 14, which is close to 15, right? So I think this is approximately 120%. A little more than 120%, slightly more than 120%. You understand? 70 by 70 is 1, which means 100%. 15 by 70 is like, 2 by 10, right? 7 into 2, 7 into 10. 2 by 10 is 20%. So 100 plus 20, 120%. Similarly, do the calculation for this one. 155 can be taken as, I will split it as 90 plus 65. 90 plus 65. 90 by 90, 100%. 65 by 90. 65 by 90 is like 7 by 10. See, 9 into 7 is 63, right? Which is close to 65. So 7 by 10. So 7 by 10 is 70% and this is 100%. 100 plus 70, 170%. Remember, this also will be slightly more than 170. Right? Slightly more than 170. This is very, very close to 120. Now we have to find out the difference in these two. See, what we have done is first we have found percentage increase. Then we have found average percentage increase. Now you have to take the difference between these two values, 120 and 170. How much is the difference? 50, approximately 50, right? Approximately 50. So 59, 35, 55 all are ruled out. Now 47.38 and 50.79 are the two close answers. But if you are good with numbers, you would know that this will be close to 50 and a little more than that. So 50.79, option 3 would be the correct answer. See, it won't go to 47.38. It won't be like 3% less than 50 because we have done quite precise calculations, right? What we have done here is 120. 120 is 84 by 70. You understand? 84 by 70 is exactly 120%. Here we have 85 by 70. So, very close to 120%. Similarly, 153 by 90 is going to be 170%. Split and merge. 153 is 90 plus 63. So 170%. What we have is 155. So slightly more than 70%. So this is 120%. This is slightly more than 170. So answer should be slightly more than 50. Slightly more than 50 is option 3 here. So option 2 also gets eliminated. Right? So the final answer to this question would be option 3. I know it looks to be lengthy. Definitely not a 30-second question. It would take up to 1 minute, but not more than that. Right? Do not go by the number of steps that you have put on paper. Right? All you have to do is play with these numbers. Right? When you solve it yourself, you should just be writing the numbers. Don't write all this data, final minus initial and all that stuff. Right? Just do the percentage calculations and take the difference. Answer will be option 3, 50.79%. But yes, out of 5 questions asked in data interpretation, it could be that one question is really time consuming, like this one. right? The other 4 may be easy, right? The other 4 could be easy ones. So if you think this is really time consuming, if you have kind of analyzed that this is going to take 2 minutes for me, then you better skip and jump to the next question. Yeah, not all the 5 would be as complex as this one, right? Some could be easy. So that's about it. I think it's all about being able to play with numbers. If you are smart in your calculations, then you can solve the questions really quick. And I think unfortunately majority of you had marked the answer as 47.38, but the correct answer is 50.79, option 3. Divya Uday says, any smart way? I think the only smarter way than this is to skip. Yeah. Should we go for the next one? We have some greatest lover here who says, please do not take so much time explaining the questions. Yeah, if I have to cut down on time, what I can do, the greatest lover here, is I can solve it directly, like how I would solve, but I'm sure that will be a bouncer for most of you. So allow me, this chance to kind of explain it a little bit. I am trying to make it easy for all of you, right? Let me present the next question, by the way, right? Here's the next question now. I'm glad that you have understood, right? Great lover, you have been able to solve it really quick, but understand the fact that not all other students are as quick as you are. So they may need a little bit of explanation. Next one here on your screens now. So same data, he says, what would have been Amazon's revenue in $1 million in its 6th year of operation if the company had matched Flipkart's percentage growth in revenues from 5th year to 6th year? Choose the option that is nearest to the answer. So he's asking us to do an approximate calculation there, right? You can do an approximate calculation. Quick. Got the answer? Option 1. I think Mayank Tripathi is the first one to respond. He says it should be option 1, 1500. Rohit Jain has got 4 by 5. What do you mean by 4 by 5? Answer has to be in millions of dollars, right? What is 4 by 5? $1760. Puneet has got 1760, and so has Hitesh, 1760. So I think one person says it should be 1500. 2 persons so far have said it should be 1760, and then we have Krishna Kiriti, who's got 2100, option 4. Sunil Gupta has also got 1500, and Nikhil Patil has got 1200. So guys, thank you so much for covering all the 4 options there: 1500, 1760, 1200, 2100. I'm sure some of you have also got option 5, none of the above. But seems like the most common response is 1760. This is an easy question. I think you should not spend more than 20 seconds to arrive at the answer for this one. I mean, having found the values from the graph, it should not take more than 20 seconds. Should we take it up? Got it? 2400. Surya Reddy has got 2400, which is not there in the options. Valay Trivedi has got 1750. We have Paritosh Goel, who's got 1704. All these are option 5, right? None of the above. Okay, so let's take it up. This is an easy one. I'm sure would not take more than 20 seconds. And unlike the previous one, you just have to do one step here to get the answer. So let's look at the solution for this particular question here. It says, what would have been Amazon's revenue in $1 million in its 6th year of operation if the company had matched Flipkart's percentage growth in revenues from 5th to 6th year? choose the option that is nearest to the answer. So basically we can do an approximate calculation here. Now what is asking us to find out? What would have been Amazon's revenue in its 6th year of operation? See, in the 6th year of operation, Amazon's revenue is already known to us, right? What is Amazon's revenue in 6th year of operation? It is 2000, right? But he says what would have been Amazon's revenue. So this is what has actually happened in 6th year, but what would have been the revenue in its 6th year of operation if, so there is a condition involved here. As such, Amazon's revenue is this, whatever it is, right? 2000, I guess, right? 2000. But what will be the revenue if the company here would refer to Amazon, right? If this company, Amazon, had matched Flipkart's percentage growth in revenues from 5th to 6th. See, Flipkart has seen some percentage growth, right? Flipkart has seen some percentage growth from 5th year to 6th year. So if Amazon also gets the same percentage growth, then what will be the revenue? You're getting it? There is some percentage growth from 5th year to 6th year for Flipkart. If the same percentage growth is applied for Amazon as well, then what will be the revenue of Amazon in 6th year is the question. Now what is Flipkart's percentage growth? How do you measure that? We have already discussed this, right? We know the value in 5th year and we know the value in 6th year for Flipkart. What are the values? I think this is 1500 and in 6th year it is what? 3000, 3 segments above that, 3300, right? 3300. Right, 3,600. So Flipkart has grown from 1,500 to 3,300 in $1 million, but we want percentage growth. So what is Flipkart's percentage growth? Flipkart's percentage growth from 5th year to 6th year. How much is that? How do you measure it? Final minus initial by initial into 100. Look at this. 3300 minus 1,500 upon 1,500 into 100. So basically this is what? 1,800 by 1,500, right? 1,800 by 1,500 or 18 by 15. 18 by 15, which is like 6 by 5. 6 by 5. So basically 6 by 5 is what? 18. Yeah, that is it, right? 1,500 and 3,300. Yeah, so the growth has been 120%. 6 by 5 you know is 120. 6 by 5 is like 1.2, so it is like 120%. So Flipkart's growth is 120%. Flipkart's growth is 120%. If Flipkart has seen a growth of 120%, then Amazon would also see 120% growth. I mean, according to this condition, if the company had matched Flipkart's growth. Amazon should also match Flipkart's growth. Now, what is Amazon's revenue in the 5th year? See, Amazon's revenue in the 5th year is how much? It is 800, I guess. Yes, this is 800. So if it is 800 in 5th year, how much will it be in the 6th year? How much will it be in the 6th year? Amazon in 6th year. How much will it be? See, it should grow by 120%. So in the 5th year, it is 800 plus 120% of 800. 800 plus 120% of 800. What is 120% of 800? 120% is 800 plus 160, 960. So 800 plus 960, 1760 is the final answer. 1760, option 2 is the final answer. Right? Option 2 is the final answer. Getting it? Again, cut down the number of steps. I mean, don't put everything on paper there. You can easily understand that on 800, a 120% growth would mean it will become 800 plus 160, which is 1760. So I think this step can be cut down. You don't have to put on paper actually. There's one more way to look at it, right? I mean, if you observe, if you don't want to do all this percentage-based calculation, this is a conventional method. What we have done here is a conventional method, right? You can maybe avoid this. If this looks lengthy, you can avoid this. You don't have to really do all this in the exam, right? A simple way of doing it is, see, he's talking about proportionate growth, right? Whatever growth Flipkart has seen, a similar growth should Amazon see. So Flipkart has become from 1,500 to 3,300. There is some percentage growth here. Similarly, Amazon should grow from 800 to what? Cross multiply and you will get the answer. As simple as that. So this is the 20-second solution, right? I mean, this may look lengthy. I'm sure most of you would have done this. Correct. Nothing wrong with the solution. The answer is correct, right? Whatever you have done here is correct, but time consuming in my view. You can save your precious time by just going by proportionality, right? Flipkart has become 3,300 from 1,500. Accordingly, I mean, in line with that, if Amazon has to grow, what will it become? 800 will become what? Cross multiply. So this question mark would be what? 3,300 into 800 by 1,500. You're getting it? So this is like 11 times, and this is 5 times. 300 into 11, 300 into 5. In 5 year goes how many times? 160 times. So 160 into 11. What is 160 into 11? 1600 plus 160, 1760. Same answer. See, one step, just one step. So it's very important that you understand the question very clearly. Once you have understood the question and you go by this proportionality, right? This is a smart method. Nothing wrong with what you have done here. This also is correct. 1760 is the correct answer, but takes a little bit of time, right? First you're finding the percentage growth, then you're applying that percentage growth. Instead, do it based on proportionality. So 1760 is the final answer, is the correct answer. I'm glad that many of you had got 1760. But the question now to all of you is, did you use the regular method or the smart method? See, getting the right answer alone is not going to help, right? Accuracy is important. 100% accuracy has to be there. But then it's more to do with speed, right? How quickly do you arrive at the right answer is important. So how many of you have done the second method is a question. Tell me smart or regular. All you have to comment is regular method or smart method. Both would involve calculations. That calculation is required. That is the reason I say when it comes to quantitative aptitude, you have to be really quick in calculation. Really very quick in calculation. So just comment smart or regular so that I get to know how many of you have used the smart method here. Looks like most of you use regular method, right? Ashish, Dhaval, Nagasai, Deepak, Apurva Rawat, AP Tiwari, Sneha. Yeah. But Anandi is also used regular method. Anil Kiran, Swati Gupta, Neha is upset that she has used regular methods. But you should be happy that something you have learned today, and then you can save your time in the exam. Yeah. So Ravi has used the smart method. Gayatri has used smart method. Puneet has done it in a smart way. Navneet Singh has done it in a smart way. But I think the ratio of smart method is to regular method is like 1 is to 10, right? If 10 people have done it in a regular method, then only 1 has done it in a smart method. And this is what creates the difference, right? This is where the difference lies in the exam. Okay, let me present the next question to you all. I think this is the last one from this data interpretation. There's a 3 marks question here. So the last question is on your screens now. By the way, if I go back to the previous question and just tell you, see, average time taken is 68 seconds. Accuracy is only 37%. In my view, accuracy for this one should be 100%. You cannot go wrong in doing this calculation. Average time should be 20 seconds, not more than that. Yes or no? If you use the smart method here, you won't take more than 20 seconds. So see, 48 seconds can be saved. Yeah, and you'll get 1 mark there. Anyway, the next question is on your screens now. Average time taken is 85 seconds, accuracy is 64%. So only 64% of the people who have attempted this have got it right, but average time spent is 85 seconds. What is the ratio between the average revenue of Snapdeal between year 4 to 6 and Amazon between years 3 to 5th? I think this is a straight question. Sitter, all you have to do is pick up the values and find out the averages. I'll leave you with this for 1 minute. It should not take more than 30 seconds, but 1 minute is what you have, and the clock starts now. Option 3, Nagaraju has got option 3, which is 43:31, right? Sunil Gupta has got option A, option 1. Soumya Ranjan, Alok Kumar, all these guys have got option 1. Raghavendra Pratap has got 1. Nagaraju and Himanshu have got 43:31, which is option 3. So I think the confusion is between 1 and 3, right? Option 1 or option 3. Should we take this up now? Ravneet Singh has got 25:47, which is option 1. So I think, yeah, the confusion is between 1 and 3. Let's look at the solution. I am disappointed that even in this one, you have gone wrong, right? I mean, this is a sitter. You can't expect an easier question than this, right? What does it say? What is the ratio between the average revenue of Snapdeal between year 4 to 6 and Amazon between years 3 to 5? Snapdeal from 4 to 6 and Amazon from 3 to 5. You have to take the ratio of their average revenue, right? Average revenue is what? Sum of the revenues divided by 3. Yeah. Now here also there is a smartness, right? I'll tell you how can you save time in this particular question. Let me explain you how is it regularly solved, right? First of all, average revenue of let's say Snapdeal, right? What will it be? For which years? 4 to 6. So what are the values from 4th year to 6th year for Snapdeal? I think this is 350. This is 600. And what is this? This is 1200. Yeah. So it will be 350 plus 600 plus 1200 upon 3. Yeah. Now simplify this. So 1800 plus 350, 2150, right? 2150 by 3. 2150 by 3. Yeah. 2150 by 3. In my view, we have already started wasting our time. I'll tell you why. Then the average revenue of which is the other company? Amazon. But from which years? From 3rd year to 5th year. Be careful. 3rd year to 5th year. So 3rd year Amazon. Amazon is this red graph, right? So 3rd year Amazon is 300, right? 300 plus 4th year Amazon is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 450, right? 300 plus 450 plus 5th year Amazon is what? This is 600, so this should be 800, right? 800, yeah, 800 upon 3. So this is 750 plus 800, 1550 by 3. Yeah, 1550 by 3. Snapdeal versus Amazon. Now, do not waste your time in simplifying this. Understand that this is a ratio based question. What do you mean by ratio? What is the definition of ratio? Ratio is a comparison in the simplest form. Ratio is comparison of two values in the simplest form, simplest possible form, right? Simplest possible form. So whenever you're dealing with questions related to, ratios or percentages, whatever is common can be avoided. Like, I'll tell you, what would a smart person do? A smart person will not put divided by 3 in the denominator at all, because he very well knows that it is going to get cancelled in both the sides when you finally take the ratio. So understand, in any case, whenever you have to take the ratio of averages, ratio of average is as good as ratio of the sum. So instead of wasting your time in writing divided by 3 or actually doing the calculation and then taking the ratio, a smart person will directly say the sum in the first case is 2150, the sum in the second case is 1550, and that's the ratio. Don't divide by 3. Why do you want to write by 3 and then cancel? I'm sure nobody would have simplified 2150 by 3 or 1550 by 3, but even if you have taken divided by 3, I think it's a waste of time. You should realize that ratio of average is as good as ratio of the sum, because that denominator is going to get cancelled on both the sides. Keep this in mind. It is only when, this is only when the number of years on both the sides are equal. 4 to 6, 3 years, right? 3 to 5 also is 3 years. If the denominator is different, then don't neglect it. Right? If the denominator, let's say in one case is 3, the other case is 2, then you have to consider it. But since the denominator is common, avoid. So this is like 50 into, how many times? This is 40 plus 3, 43 times. And this is 30 plus 1, 31 times. So 43 is to 31. Option 3 is the answer. Option 3, 43 is to 31 is the answer. I don't know why did students get 25 is to 47 as the answer to this particular question. Seems like a simple one, right? If you don't read the values properly, then there's a problem. I mean, usually, I'll tell you where we go wrong while answering such questions. You do not read the value properly, right? I mean, it is actually 600, but you have taken as 500. If it is 350, you have taken as 300 or 450 or 250. There you go wrong. Yeah, there you go wrong. So be careful. There's a high chance that you go wrong in such questions due to parallax error. I mean, you don't read it properly. Don't read the graph properly. Yeah. So all those who have taken by 3 and then cancelled it have actually wasted your precious time, right? Just see how much time it takes. Writing dash and dash, writing 3 and 3, then cancelling. Those 3-4 seconds have been wasted for doing nothing. Okay. Should we go for the next one now? I think this data interpretation set is done. We can go for the next set of questions. Yeah, deciding the values is a bit difficult is what Surya Reddy says. I know, that's where most of you would have gone wrong. Deepak says, I misread 1550 as 1650 and you got wrong. Okay, should we go for the next one now? All right, I have got a couple of more data interpretation questions, very interesting ones, right? One is on probability, right? Data interpretation on probability, data interpretation on permutations and combinations. It's really going to be very interesting to solve those questions. But before we get into the next DI, let's take something on arithmetic ability part, right? Like simple and compound interest, profit and loss, etc. So I'm going to present the next question to you all. This also has been provided by GradeUp, and it's found to be a complex question by the students who have attempted the GradeUp mock test, right? Because I see that for this question, average time spent is 148 seconds, which is close to 2.5 minutes, and the accuracy is just 44%. In my view, solving this question should take about 30 seconds, 100% accuracy always. Anyway, let me present the question to you all. I'll give you 2 minutes for this. The clock starts now. Yeah. So here's the question. See what it says. If P borrowed the same amount as Q from R at the same rate of interest for 3 years at simple interest, while Q borrowed at compound interest, compounded annually, and the difference between their interest is, rupees 3896.2, then find the rate percentage per annum if P borrowed INR 25,000. Options have been given to you: 20, 20.5, 21, 22, and 22.5. Now this is a common question from simple and compound interest, right? This is in fact model number 4 from the simple and compound interest video of TalentSprint. Yeah. So you should know the shortcut formula. There is a shortcut formula for differences between SI and CI for 2 years and 3 years, right? Like for example, here he's talking about 3 years, right? So the difference between simple and compound interest can be calculated using a shortcut formula. I hope you remember that formula. So just apply that formula, substitute the values, and do the calculation to get the answer. Your time starts now. %, yeah. Soumya Ranjan, Trivikram Reddy, Suyesh Kamble, and Archana have got 21%, waiting for others to respond. Abhishek Kumar has got option 3, which is, yes, 21%. Parul Sharma says, please try to speak in bilingual. I am from Hindi medium. Parul, see, if you have any particular query, Parul, feel free to ask, and you can demand an explanation in Hindi. But if you have gone through the notification by GradeUp, we have clearly declared that the sessions would be in English, right? The medium of instruction will be in English. But फिर भी जैसे मैंने बताया, अगर आपको कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा हो तो आप पूछ सकते हो, and I will try कि मैं हिंदी में explanation दूँ उसका. Yeah, 21%. I think Sai Prabhat has got option 4, which is 22. All others have got 21 so far. Sonu, Hitesh, Lakshman, Ravi, Kavana, Nandini, Rajkumar, Subrat, Ramesh, Akhil, Jenny, Anirban Mukherjee, Suraj Narayan, Pavan Kumar, Ravneet Singh. All you guys have got 21%, right? Lakshman, Abhishek, Venu Madhavi. Sarmishta has got 22%, option 4. Here Nagaraju has got 22%. I think very clearly 95 or more than 95% of the students here have got option 3, 21%. So good, I'm glad that you've been able to do the calculation quickly and arrive at the answer. Vijay Valan says, please start daily live session for IBPS PO. Daily live sessions are going on for IBPS PO almost regularly for the TalentSprint students, right? We have sessions on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. Other than that, we have sessions on Mondays and Fridays as well. So, almost every day there are sessions. However, if you are a TalentSprint student, right? Otherwise, you have only access on Mondays and Fridays. Okay, so 21%, the most common response. Now, before we take up the solution, let me understand how. Okay, Divya Uday says I didn't know the formula. I'll put the formula on the screen for you, right? I think let me give you the formula and then see how many of you are able to try. So there's a shortcut formula here which says the principal amount P should be equal to D into 100 cube upon R squared into 300 plus R. There's like one formula that you better remember and learn it by heart, right? Every shortcut formula comes with this star mark. What is this star mark? Don't say important. If it is important, I'll put a star here. This is conditions apply, right? Conditions applicable here. What is the condition? The condition here is that it is applicable if and only if time period is equal to 3 years. Formula is applicable only for 3 years. Here, yes, the time period is given for 3 years. So now that you know the formula, find out the answer. He's asking us to find out the rate of interest R. P is given 25,000, right? And the difference D is also given 3896.2. So let's see how many of you get it right. Copy the formula quickly and then solve it. Meanwhile, let me look at the chat. So 21%, any shortcut method except formula. We'll discuss that shortcut method, don't worry. Neha says forgot the formula. See, this exactly is the precise reason why I ask you guys not to go by shortcut formula, right? I mean, you must have heard me tell many times that shortcut formula doesn't really help. It looks like shortcut formula are important, but in my view, it's not easy to use a shortcut formula, because what happens is when you're solving it in the exam, right, under pressure, it gets difficult to recall the formula. Yeah. Hitesh says no need of formula. Good. Hitesh has been able to solve it even without using a formula. Options are close, by the way, right? 20, 20.5, 21, 22, 22.5. There's a difference of 0.5% between different options there. Okay, should we start discussing this now? We have Vishwanathan here who says please do some geometry. Vishwanathan, I would be happy to do geometry as well, but you know, we are in the IBPS PO refresher where geometry is not included in the syllabus, right? It's a part of SSC-CGL exam. So when we do the sessions for SSC-CGL Tier 2 exam, we will take up questions on geometry as well. Swati Gupta says that I know the formula, but it's still very calculative. Yes, it is very calculative. So I'm waiting for 30 seconds more before I solve this for you. Please explain without the formula. I think without formula, I don't know how to solve it. I would skip it if I see without the formula. You have to find out compound interest for 3 years, simple interest for 3 years, and then only do it. Okay. Should we take it up now? Yes, I think we have spent enough time. Most of you have got 21%. Keep that in mind. Let me now explain the solution to you all. Here we go. So I'll just clear the screen quickly. Let me explain the question first. Right? What does it say? If P borrowed the same amount as Q from R at the same rate of interest for 3 years at simple interest, while Q borrowed at compound interest. So basically P and Q are two persons who have borrowed the same amount from this person R. Right? P has borrowed some amount, Q has also borrowed the same amount from R at the same rate of interest for 3 years. But P has borrowed at the simple interest case. P has borrowed it on simple interest, while Q borrowed at compound interest, which is compounding annually. It's very important whether it is being compounded annually or half yearly or quarterly, because based on that, the way you do the calculation would change, right? So this is an annual compounding, a regular compounding process. And the difference between their interest is 3896.2. Difference between their interest is 3896.2. Then find the rate in PCP. PCP here is percentage per annum, right? Find the rate of interest if P borrowed 25,000. So basically we have to find out R. Now see, if P has borrowed 25,000, Q also has borrowed 25,000. Yes or no? So I can say that the principal amount. See, usually what happens is the formula, I mean the concept is based on difference, right? Let's assume that the difference is D. The difference D here is equal to 3896.2. The principal amount P is equal to what? 25,000. Time period T is equal to 3 years. rate of interest R has to be calculated. The formula goes as follows, right? The formula says that principal P can be taken as difference into 100 cube upon R squared into 300 plus R. This is the formula to be used. This is a shortcut formula. I would suggest that you all learn this formula by heart, because this is the only formula in simple and compound interest that you'll have to remember. All other formulae are not required. This is the formula to be used when difference is involved for a period of 3 years. When the difference is given for a period of 3 years. Yeah, difference is given for a period of 3 years, right? The condition is that the time period is 3 years. In that case, you can use this formula. For 2 years, there is a different formula. If the time period is 2 years, then the formula is simple. P equals to D into 100 square by R square. But when it's 3 years, it becomes 100 cube by R square into 300 plus R. Now, I know the difference amount. I know the principal amount. Can we not find out R? Yes, we can find out R. This is time T, 3 years. And this is the rate R. Yeah, so just substitute the values now. So you can do it using finding out CI, finding out SI, and then taking the difference, but it will make it a lot more complex. So you better learn this particular formula by heart. Okay. Now substitute the values. So what happens? P 25,000 equals to D 3896.2 into 100 cube. So 100 into 100 into 100, let's say, right? We are going to do the calculation into this is divided by R square into 300 plus R. R square into 300 plus R. Now you have to solve for this. Let me tell you, this is a complex calculation. This is not an easy calculation, right? It's going to be complex. Yeah, it's not a simple calculation. It's going to be time consuming, right? It's a complex process. Yeah, because you will get a quadratic equation. If you observe, even if you do some cancellations, what happens? These 3 zeros, let's say, these 3 zeros get cancelled. Yeah, these 3 zeros and these 3 zeros have cancelled. This 3896.2 when multiplied by 10, the decimal goes off. So we have 100. So basically 25 equals to 38962. Right? The decimal is gone now because we have multiplied by 10 into 100 divided by R square into 300 plus R. So you know, it becomes a little, it becomes like a quadratic equation. And you have to solve for that quadratic equation where the values are typical, right? R square into 300 plus R will now be equal to what? 38962. See, this 25 here goes 4 times. This is 25 into 1. This is 25 into 4. So 38962 into 4. This is the final equation. This is the final equation. R square into 300 plus R equals to 38962 into 4. Right? This is the equation that you need to solve. And this actually is a quadratic equation. If you observe, it's a quadratic equation. So now if your idea is that you want to solve the quadratic equation, then you better skip this question. The easiest way to solve this question is to skip it, because solving for that quadratic equation is going to take a lot of time, right? I mean, who's going to find out the roots for this kind of an equation? Yeah? Life will become complex. 300 R square plus R cube. In fact, it's not even a quadratic equation. It's like a cubic equation, right? Not even a quadratic equation. It's a cubic equation. I'm sorry. Yeah. So it's going to be complex. It's going to be difficult to solve for R from this equation. So what do? Smart people will go by substitution, right? If you have seen the video, there are 4 ways to solve a particular question, right? You can regularly solve it using the conventional method. You can use elimination method. You can use substitution method, or you can use a shortcut formula. Here, we will go by substitution method. Instead of solving this equation now, I'll use substitution method. Sorry, I think the pen is not responsive enough today. I'm getting stuck in between. Substitution method, right? We'll use the substitution method. What happens here? Reverse engineering. Instead of finding out what the value of R is, let us substitute the options one by one and see which option satisfies. Remember, the technique that we are going to apply here is units place method. Substitution again does not mean that you will solve it fully. Like for example, you can substitute 20 here. So 20 square into 320, you can check whether it is matching or not. Then 20.5 square into 320.5. Then 21 square into 321. You understand? Substitute the values of R one after the other. But then, instead of doing the full calculation, why don't you verify using units place method? We have discussed something called as units place method in our earlier sessions, right? Units digit method. Very, very important technique. So if you observe, ideally you should skip it. If you don't know any shortcut, you should better skip this problem. Even if you know the formula, solving the cubic equation makes no sense. So you go by substitution, and within substitution apply the units digit method. Very, very interesting technique which can help you arrive at the answer without, you know, having to do complete calculation. See, the advantage I see is in all the options, the unit places are different. You see, here it is 0, here it is 5, here it is 1, here it is 2, and here it is 5. I will be in a problem, I will be in a difficult situation if the answer has to end with 5. because there are two options ending with 5. But if the answer does not end with 5, then very easily we can find out using unit place method. So what happens in unit place method is as follows. You see, I know that the left hand side ends in 8, the right hand side ends in 8. You see, right hand side, one number ends in 2, the other number ends in 4. One number is ending in 2, the other number ends in 4. So obviously the result will end with 8. It will be some value which ends with 8. 38,962 multiplied by 4. Let's say it is close to 1.5 lakhs, 1.55 lakhs, whatever, right? Now, answer will end with 8. I'm not worried about, I'm not interested in the full value. I'm only looking at unit place. One number ends in 4, the other number ends in 2. Product will end with 8. If the right hand side is ending at 8, the left hand side should also end with 8. When the right hand side ends with 8, the left hand side should also end with 8, right? It has to be balanced. Let's substitute option 1. What happens if you substitute option 1? It is ending in 0, right? So R square will be what? 400. 400 into 300 plus 20, 320. One number ends in 0, the other number also ends in 0. Their product will end with what? 0. Left hand side is ending in 0, the right hand side ends in 8. Can this be the answer? No. This is not balanced, right? Option 1 is not balanced. It's not balancing the left and right hand sides. Option 1 cannot be the answer. You're getting it? Option 1 is ruled out. It cannot be the answer. Now go for option 2. Option 2, 20.5. 20.5 square. Now don't waste your time in finding out 20.5 square. 20.5 is like 205. Forget about the decimals. I mean, you can neglect decimal. You can neglect the decimal when you're checking unit place method. I mean, don't neglect 0.5. Neglect the decimal only. So instead of taking 20.5, you take 205. Number is like 205, right? Now 205 square, don't find out the full value. You don't like in the earlier case we have done 20 square because it was easy to do, but as such it is not required. 20 square will end with 0. 320 plus 300 plus 20 will also end with 0. I mean, that's the idea. Now if you take 205 square, when a number ends in 5, its square also ends with 5. So 205 square will end with 5 into 300 plus 20.5, 320.5. The other number is also ending with 5. So 300 plus 205, 505. One number ends in 5. See, R square will end with 5, right? When a number ends in 5, its square also ends with 5. 300 plus 205 is 505. That also ends with 5. One number ends in 5, the other number also ends in 5. There is product will end with what? Overall the product will end with 5. What is the right hand side ending with? 8. Can this be the answer? This cannot be the answer. If 20.5 is not the answer, 22.5 also cannot be the answer. Because they are also the same unit place, right? We are safe. Either option 3 or option 4. Check for option 3. Check for option 3 now. What is option 3? Option 3 is 21. Now if I put 21 in place of R, what happens? The number ends with 1. 21 square, right? 21 square ends with 1. When a number ends in 1, its square also ends with 1. So the first number ends with 1. I'm sorry, the pen is not really responsive. That's why it's delaying the process, right? So 21 square, right? When a number ends in 1, its square also ends with 1. Its square also ends with 1, right? So the first number here ends in 1. Look at the remaining part of it, right? On the left hand side. It is 300 plus R. 300 plus R. So 300 plus 21, right? 300 plus 21. Now 300 plus 21 is also ending in 1. Apply unit space method. Apply the unit space method. The other number also ends in 1. Now one number ends in 1, the second number ends in 1. The product of these two numbers would end with 1. Yeah, product of the two numbers end with 1. What do we want? We want the product to end with 8. Is it balanced? No. So even option 3 is ruled out. Option 3 is ruled out. The only choice is option 4, and that has to be the answer. I know explanation has taken a little bit of time, but if you have followed the process and if you apply it, then you will be able to solve this in less than 60 seconds in my view. Less than 60 seconds. Just go for substitution and apply unit digit method. Now check, if you want to check for option 4. The number here would end with 4, right? 22 square ends in 4. 22 square is 484, so it ends with 4, right? If I check option 4 now. Right? 22 square ends with 4. And 300 plus 22 would end with 2. The other number is ending in 2. So right hand side, left hand side will end with what? 8. And right hand side also is ending with 8. So definitely option 4 is the correct answer. Now let me quickly highlight what all is important here, right? What all you need to put pen on paper. I mean, for what steps you need to put pen on paper. All this is not required. This is only explanation, right? You know, whatever we have done on the left hand side is just the question itself. Yeah, all this is not needed. I think only this step. Do this and you'll get the answer. I mean, after that, apply unit space method. This unit digit method that we have discussed will give you the answer. So it wouldn't take more than, it wouldn't take more than 60 seconds in my view. Overall, less than 60 seconds, you should be able to get it. So the average time, 148 seconds, can be cut down to 60 seconds, and accuracy, of course, will be 100%. So option 4, 22% is the final answer, and 95%, over 95% of you had marked the answer as option 3, 21, which is incorrect. Yeah, did you all follow this? Can we go for the next one? So I'm sure all of you, Virendra Kumar says any other method. I have no other method. The only other method is, we have discussed two methods, by the way, Virendra, we have discussed two methods. First method is to skip. Second method is to solve, where you use unit space method. The third method would be to follow the conventional process. Find out CI using the formula P into 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of 3 minus P. Find out SI using the formula PTR by 100. Both of them will have the variable R. Then take the difference as 3896.2 and then simplify. Life becomes miserable. Don't do that. Yeah. So option 4, 22% is the final answer. I really appreciate all those who have got option 4, because like I said, 95% students said it should be 3. Shall I go for the next one now? Should we take up the next one? Yeah. Glad that all of you followed it. Let me take up the next question. There's more on data interpretation, like I said, but a couple of more arithmetic ability questions. So the next question is on your screens now. This is on allegations and mixtures. In the last session, many of you had mentioned that I should take up questions on allegations and mixtures. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, so the question is here on your screens. Forget about this scribbling here. Look at the question. A 100-liter container is completely filled with a mixture of milk and water in the ratio of 4:1 respectively, and another 240-liter container contains 200-liter mixture of milk and water in the ratio of 7:3 respectively. 40 liter is taken out of container 1 and mixed thoroughly in second container. Then 30 liter is taken out of container 2, second container, and mixed in the first one. How much liters? This is wrong language. It should be how many liters? Okay, this is behaving really weird today. I'm sorry about the inconvenience caused, but you can see, right? The question is how much liter? How many liters of milk is now present in the first container? Right? How many liters of milk is now present in the first container? Yeah, here's the question. So try this. I think interesting one. You will have to follow the regular process. There's no other way out. I will leave you with this for 2 minutes. Let's see how many of you get the right answer. All right, I think option 4 is what most of you have got, right? 69.5. Should we take it up now? Yeah, I think many of you have mentioned that there's no audio. Guys, we are trying to fix the glitch that we had faced, right? Anyways, 69.5, 75.5. Nikhil Patil has got 75.5, which is option 2. But I think 69.5 is the most common response. 59.5 also is there, which is option 5. Yeah? Kamaljeet Kaur says I'm struck. Option 5, option 4, option 2. Let's discuss the solution now. Should we take it up? Yeah. So most of you have got it. I mean, you've got some or the other answer. Let's look at the solution now. So here's the question. A 100-liter container is completely filled with a mixture of milk and water in the ratio of 4:1 respectively. And another 240-liter container contains 200-liter mixture of milk and water in the ratio of 7:3 respectively. 40-liter is taken out of first container and mixed thoroughly in the second container. Then 30-liter is taken out of the second container and mixed in the first one. I'm sorry about this. This should be how many, right? How many liters of milk is now present in the first container? How many liters of milk is now present in the first container? So you can see that there's a whole process that happens here, right? We have a 100-liter container, right? Container number 1. The quantity is 100 liters. It has got milk and water in what ratio? 4:1. Right, 100-liter container is completely filled with milk and water in the ratio of 4:1 respectively, right? Ratio is 4:1. So milk is to water is equal to 4:1. Now you just have to divide 100 liters in the ratio of 4:1. So you'll get 80 liters milk and 20 liters water, right? Very easy to do mentally. You don't have to put pen on paper for this. So I can say it has got 80 liters milk and 20 liters water. Now there is another 240-liter container. Another 240-liter container which contains only 200 liters of milk and water. Understand, this is full. This container 1 is full to the brim, right? Fully filled. 100 liter mixture it has got. Yeah, is completely filled, he said. But then the second container whose capacity is 240 liters. The capacity is 240 liters. Total capacity 240 liters, but it has been filled only up to 200 liters. It contains 200 liters, right? Up to this, right? Only up to 200 liters of milk and water in the ratio of 7:3. Here milk and water is in the ratio of 7:3. 7:3. Yeah. So basically this 200 can be divided in the ratio of 7:3. Now we don't really have to divide 100 liters in the ratio of 4:1 or 200 liters in the ratio of 7:3, because even before we do that, what is happening? 40 liter is taken out of the first container. So from the first container you are taking 40 liters. You will take how much? 40 liters and mix thoroughly in the second container. So there is step 1. In step 1 you remove 40 liters from container 1 and put it in container 2, right? So let's look at that step 1. Now basically this 40 liter which is taken out of container 1, remember, whenever you are removing a quantity of mixture, you won't get pure milk or pure water, right? When I'm removing 40 liters from container 1, I won't get 40 liters of milk or 40 liters of water. It will be a mixture of milk and water, and that mixture will also be in the ratio of 4:1. So this 40 liter which is being removed has to be divided in the 4:1 ratio. So I think 5 parts, right? 4 and 1 is 5 parts. You will get 8 part. I mean, each part is equal to 8 liters, right? 40 liters when you divide in 5 equal parts, each part would be 8 liters. So 4 parts is 8 into 4, 32. 1 part is 8. So I think, so you understand what we are doing. We have removed 40 liters. I am trying to find out of this 40, how much is milk and how much is water. What quantity is milk and what quantity is water. So I find that this is 32 liters milk and 8 liters water. So 32 is to 8, you see 4:1. 32 plus 8, 40. Now this 32 and 8 are getting added to what? The existing quantity. What is the existing quantity? Remember, it had 200 liters of mixture. In what ratio? 7:3 ratio. 7:3 ratio. So if you have to divide 200 in the ratio of 7:3, see 7 and 3 are total 10 parts. 200 divided in 10 parts, what do you get? Each part will be equal to 20 liters. So basically I can say here milk was 7 into 20, 140 liters milk and 60 liters water. So 140 plus 60 is 200, 140 is to 60, 7:3. So in step 1, basically, you have taken 40 liters from container 1 and you are adding it to what? You are adding it to container 2. Container 2 has got 140 liters milk and 60 liters water. So what's the final quantity that we have? 140 plus 32. 172 liters milk and 68 liters water. This is what is there in container 2. This is there in container 2. This is there in container 2 after step 1. After step 1. This is what is there in container 2 after step 1. You're getting it? You just have to do it this way. The explanation looks lengthy, but if you know what has to be done, you can play with these numbers very quickly, right? And don't draw this diagram and waste your precious time. Don't do this drama in the exam, right? Just play with numbers. So basically, from 40 liters of mixture 1, I have got 32 liters milk, 8 liters water. I have added to 140 liters of milk and 60 liters of water in the container 2. So the new quantities of milk and water in container 2 is 172 and 68. And by the way, after step 1, what will be the quantities in container 1? See, we are talking about this whole is step 1. What will be the quantities in container 1? I had how much milk and how much water? 100 liters, right? 100 liters means 80 liters milk. 80 liters milk and 20 liters water initially. 80 and 20, the ratio is 4:1, and 80 plus 20 is 100 liters. But from this 100, 32 and 8 were removed. So 80 minus 32. You understand? 80 liters of milk was there, from which 32 was removed. So we had 48 liters of milk, and from 20 you have removed 8, 12 liters of water. So what we have got now is final quantities after step 1 in container 2 and container 1. Now the same process has to be repeated. What happens now? Now in the second step, in step 2, what are we doing in step 2? 30 liter is taken out of the second container. 30 liter is taken out of second container and mixed with the first one. So basically I am now removing 30 liters. 30 liters from container 2. This 40 liters were removed from container 1. 30 liters is being removed from container 2. This 30 should be divided in what ratio? Now when you remove 30 liters, the question is how much milk and how much water would come out. What quantity of milk is going to come out and what quantity of water is going to come out. And he says that after removing 30 liters, this contents will get added to container 1. See, container 1 after step 1 had 48 liters of milk and 12 liters of water. He says how many liters of milk is now present in the first container. So finally we have to find out the quantity of milk in the first container. So if you observe, I already know, I know that already there is 48 liters of milk in container 1. All we have to find out is out of this 30 liters, how much is milk. Add that to 48 liters and you'll get the answer. Yes or no? There will be some milk and some water. So how much is the milk is the question. How can you find out this milk? Let's say milk you remove is M dash and water you remove is W dash. So how can you get this M dash? Simple. What is the ratio? 172 out of 240 multiplied by 30. Yes or no? How do you find out how much is milk? 172 parts out of total 172 plus 68. 240 parts. Multiply by 30 to get the quantity of milk that is getting removed. Out of 30, how much is milk? Simplify, this goes how many times? 8 times. So 172 by 8, 160 by 8 is 20, 12 by 8 is 1.5, 21.5. So I know that out of these 30 liters which has been removed from container 2, 21.5 liters is milk. And this 21.5 liters is going to go and get added to 48 liters of existing milk in container 1. So how many liters of milk is now present in first container? It already had 48 liters after step 1. And in step 2, we have removed 21.5 liters from container 2. So 48 plus 21.5, 69.5 liters is going to be the answer. Looks a little clumsy, but all you have to understand is when you're removing a particular quantity from a particular container, remove it in the proper ratio, right? There's some initial ratios given to us, right? 4:1, 7:3. So based on those ratios, you have to remove. And whenever you remove, add that respective quantity of milk and water to the existing quantities of milk and water. And then again, split accordingly, in the ratio that we get. Okay, so 69.5 is the answer there. I'm sure practicing these kind of questions a couple of times will make it convenient for you all. So option 4 is the final answer. Should we take up the next one now? Let's go for data interpretation, right? Some more on data interpretation, or maybe one question on time and work, or both sense streams. Here we go. Yeah, Kamaljeet Kaur says this has become easy now, so I am glad that you guys have followed it. The next question is on your screens now. So here's the next question, which is on boats and streams. See what it says. A boat can travel at 40 kilometers per hour maximum. While going upstream, it goes at 75% of its top speed, and while going downstream, it goes at 65% of its top speed. If it travels in a stream with a speed of 5 km per hour, then approximately how long will it take to complete a round trip of 200 kilometers distance? Interesting question. All you need to know here is when a boat is going upstream, you have to take the difference of the speeds. Difference of what speeds? The speed of the boat and speed of the stream. And when the boat is going downstream, you have to take the sum of the speeds. You know, speed of the boat plus speed of the stream. Kishore says it's a conventional method. Is there any shortcut? I don't think there is any shortcut there. You either do it that way or just leave it. I think you are finding it lengthy because there are too many numbers involved, right? And your problem is not the length of the solution. Your problem is you're not good in calculations. I mean, I'm not pointing out to Kishore alone, but everybody who has found it to be lengthy, their problem in my view is poor calculation ability and not the length of the solution. Anyways, try this now. Boats and streams, you have 1 minute for this. Your clock starts now. Got it? 6.89, right? Option 3 is what most of you have got, 6.89. But then we have Amit Vats who has got 7.23, option 4. Vidya Sagar has also got option 4, and so has Malbika Mohanty and Shami and Nagasai and Sagar. Then we have Mudit who says it should be option 5, none of these. Parag has got 6.89, option 3. Confusion again, huh? We have okay, so we have Akshay Thakur who says there is no such thing as there is no shortcut. I'll invent one. Akshay, you're absolutely right. There's no such thing that there is no shortcut. For every single question in quantitative aptitude, I'm not sure about reasoning, but every question in quantitative aptitude can be solved using a shortcut formula. Like the previous one that we have solved, right? A shortcut formula can be derived. How do you do it? Instead of taking 30 liters, 40 liters, take variables Q1, Q2, and accordingly, you know, take ratios R1 is to R2, maybe R3 is to R4, and then accordingly, you know, whatever you have done with numbers, do the same thing with variables and you will get a shortcut formula. But what's the point in learning so many shortcut formulas? And will you be able to recall? I mean, a few minutes ago in the same session, we have discussed that there are shortcut formulae, but we fail to recall during the examination, right? We can derive a shortcut formula for everything. But the question that I have is, will you be able to recall it in the exam? right? And this is too specific a question, right? I mean, it's a special condition. Only if those conditions are met, then you will be able to apply the formula. Yeah. So that is the reason, don't depend too much on shortcut formula. Now back to this question, I think confusion is between 7.23, 6.89, none of these, 7.14 and so on. So let me explain this to you all. Okay, here we go. The question reads that a boat can travel at 40 kilometers per hour maximum. A boat can travel at 40 kilometers per hour maximum. This is the maximum speed. While going upstream, it goes at 75% of its top speed. And while going downstream, it goes at 65% of its top speed. See, what is the top speed? 40 kilometers per hour is the top speed. Now, while going upstream, it goes at 75% of its top speed. What is 75% of its top speed? 75% of 40. 75% of 40 is 30 kilometers per hour. So basically, the upstream speed of the boat is 30 kilometers per hour. But while going downstream, it goes at 65% of its top speed. What will be 65% of 40? 65% of 40 should be 24 and 2, 26 kilometers per hour. Yeah, 26 kilometers per hour. So that's it. Indirectly, he has given us the upstream speed and downstream speed. I mean, not upstream speed and downstream speed, the speed of the boat when it goes upstream and speed of the boat when it goes downstream. Now, this boat is traveling in a stream with a speed of 5 kilometers per hour, which means it is traveling in a stream. This stream has got a speed of 5 kilometers per hour. You understand? So 5 kilometers per hour is the speed of the stream, speed of the river, speed of the water, speed of the current, whatever you call it, right? The flow, speed of the flow, 5 kilometers per hour. Then approximately how long will it take to complete a round trip of 200 kilometers distance? Now it has to do a round trip of 200 kilometers. What do you mean by round trip of 200 kilometers? See, from point A to point B, the distance has to be 100. So you go from A to B and back from B to A to B and then back from B to A. So 100 plus 100, it makes it 200. You understand? Round trip of 200 kilometers means one side distance is 100. Both the sides together will be 200. Yeah. Now try to solve this. What happens? Total time. He's asking us to find out how long will it take. So total time, I mean, don't write this step on paper, but for the sake of explanation, right? Total time is time taken to go upstream plus time taken to go downstream. What is time? Time is equal to distance by speed. So what is upstream distance? 100. See, upstream and downstream, the distances are 100, right? 100 by the speed. What is speed when you are going upstream? Speed of the boat minus speed of the stream. So 30 minus 5, 25. What is speed when you are going downstream? In downstream, you have to add the two speeds. Speed of the boat, which is 26, and speed of the stream, which is 5. You know the reasoning behind this, right? It has been discussed in detail in our videos. You can refer to those videos. So 26 plus 5, 31. That's the solution. You're getting it? Distance is 100 upstream, same distance 100 downstream. While going upstream, the speed is speed of the boat 30 minus speed of the stream 5. 30 minus 5, 25. While going downstream, speed of the overall speed is speed of the boat 26 plus speed of the stream 5. 26 5, 31. So how much is this? The first one is 4 clearly. This is approximately 3 point something, right? 3 point something. So 4 plus 3 point something, which is 7 point something. Look at the options. First 3 options are eliminated. Answer should be more than 7 very clearly. Now, because 5th option, none of this is involved, you may have to do a precise calculation, right? Or if you are ready to take a chance, you can mark option 4 as the answer. If you are ready to take a chance, then option 4 can be taken as the answer. If you say no, I want a precise, I want to verify whether it is 7.23 or not, then do the calculation. I mean, you have to do 100 by 31. 100 by 31. See, 100 by 3 is 33.33. I'll tell you, 100 by 30 is 3.33. 100 by 30 is exactly 3.33. 100 by 31 should be less than 3.33, right? Because when the denominator increases, the value decreases. The denominator has increased. The earlier denominator was 100, now the denominator is 31. When the denominator has increased, the value decreases. It should be less than 3.33. So here 100 by 31 will be less than 3.33. So 4 plus 3.33, 7.33. Less than 7.33. 7.33 looks appropriate. I have still not done the complete calculation. I mean, if you want an exact answer, then you have to divide using the regular method, right? Divide 100 by 31 in this fashion. So 3 times 93, 7 is remaining. Then take a decimal, put 0, right? 2 times 62, 8 is remaining. Then take one more time, right? You will get approximately maybe again 2 times, right? 3.22. So 4 plus 3.22, 7.22 or 7.23. Yeah, but not required in my view. I mean, you should take some chance, some risk can be taken when you come across such situations, right? So option 4, 7.23 is final, right? 7.23 is the final answer. I'm sure a lot of you must have taken 200 plus 200, upstream distance 200, downstream distance 200. But remember that round trip is 200 kilometers. Your round trip is 200. So 100 up and 100 down. Okay. I can see somebody has mentioned that the upstream speed will be 35, right? Nilab, upstream speed of the boat will be 35. No. When a boat is going upstream, it is going against the stream, right? It is going against the stream. Yeah. When you're going against the stream, there is a friction that comes into picture, right? The flow is restricting your movement of the boat. So that reduces the net speed, right? It brings the speed down. So you have to take the difference. So 30 minus 5. It's not 30 plus 5. It should be 30 minus 5. Okay. I think Swati Gupta has also got a question here. Upstream and downstream is not the speed of the boat. So I calculated speed of the boat 28. I didn't follow your point, Swati. You're saying upstream and downstream is not the speed of the boat, sir. So I calculated speed of the boat as 28. No. See, while going upstream, it goes at 30% of its top. It's not that the upstream speed is 30. When the boat was going upstream, it was running at 30 kilometers per hour, but there was a restriction of 5 kilometers per hour from the stream side. So 30 difference 5, it makes it 25. While going downstream, the boat by itself was trying to run at 26 kilometers per hour, but the stream supported with 5 kilometers per hour of its own speed. So 26 plus 5 makes it 31. Yeah. What is the confusion? Sumit Singh also says that when we take x plus y equals to 30, then how do we subtract 5? X plus, again, understand guys, you have to be careful, read the question properly. While going upstream, it goes at 75% of its top speed. A boat can travel at 40 kilometers per hour of it. 40 kilometers per hour is the top speed. I mean, let's assume it's a motor boat, right? It runs on a machine. So maximum that it can run is at 40 kilometers per hour. While going upstream, the driver or whatever it is called, whatever is the name, that person was running the boat at 75% of the top speed, which means he was running at 30 kilometers per hour. But there is a stream which is coming from the opposite side, right? So 30 minus 5, 25 is the net upstream speed. Okay. Abdul says, I have also calculated 28 as Swati did. How do you get 28 in the first place? Read the question properly. I'm sure you'll follow it. Yeah, Sumit Singh has followed this. Can we go for the next one? Let's take up the next question. We have very limited time, I think. Let me present the next question to you all. Should we take up data interpretation? Let's take data interpretation based on probability, right? Interesting. Data interpretation which is based on probabilities. So I'll present the data to you all first. It's a simple table. Understand the table carefully, right? Learn what all can be extracted, and then I'll present the questions. So here's the data. Right? So directions. Answer the following questions based on the given information. Answer the following questions based on the given information. Yeah. The numbers given in the table show the probabilities a player can play one of the sports only. So he's talking about, I think, different players, right? Adam, Andrew, Ricky, Damien, Nathan, and Clark. And then what are the different sports? Cricket, football, hockey, rugby, and swimming. Probabilities have been given. The numbers given in the table shows the probabilities a player can play one of the sports only. So a player can play, like Adam can either play cricket or football or hockey or rugby or swimming. By the way, this is missing data. There's some data missing here, right? I'm sure you are, you must be looking for such questions, because we have seen that in the recent past, questions on missing data have been asked in the exams, right? Data as such is not missing. Indirectly you have to, indirectly it will be given in the question. You can find it out. I think this is a key point, right? A player can play one of the sports only. What does it mean? Understand, when you say a player can play one of the sports only, the overall probability, see, each player will play one of the sports. Like Adam can play any one of these 5 sports, Andrew can play any one of these 5 sports, Ricky can play any one of these 5 sports. Yeah, but only one sport. So which means the probability of Adam playing a sport is 1. The total probability is 1. Total probability for each one of them is 1. And this 1 has been distributed across 5 sports. So in cricket, the probability is 0.18. 0.18 probability means what? 18 by 100, which is like 9 by 50, right? Probability is 9 by 50 basically. Anyway, you can also take it in decimals. So the probability that Adam plays cricket is 0.18. Probability that Adam plays football is 0.17. And that he plays hockey is 0.2, right? The probability that Adam plays swimming is 0.27. Now the balance has to come for rugby. So if at all I have to find out what is the probability that Adam plays rugby, how can this question mark be calculated? Total probability is 1. From that, subtract the other probabilities. 0.18 minus 0.17 minus 0.2 minus 0.27. Similarly, this question mark is nothing but 1 minus all these other 4 probabilities. Right? Probability that Ricky can play cricket or football or hockey or rugby or swimming is 1. Total probability is 1, of which distribution has been given to you. Balance will come here. The balance would come here. As simple as that. Yeah. So if I have to just fill up the values, like for one particular case, let's say 18 and 17, this is like 100. I mean, consider 1 can be taken as 100 and this decimals can be neglected. Anyway, 18 and 17 is 35, 35 and 20 is 55, 55 plus 27 is 82, right? So 100 minus 82 or 1 minus 0.82, this will be 0.18. Similarly, if you look at the other ones, like for example, Ricky, 11 and 15 is 26, 26 and 25 is 51, 51 and 23 is 74, right? So 74, 100 or 1 minus 0.74, this will be 0.26 and so on. So basically we can find out the probabilities by taking the difference from 1, right? Taking the difference from 1. So let me present the questions now. Yeah. So simple data, I think it's important that you understand what all can be extracted from the data before you start solving the questions. So that has been understood. Let me present the first question to you all. So here's the first one, same table with those missing values. The question says, what is the percentage chance? Now percentage chance is nothing but probability in terms of percentage. So convert probability into percentage. So what is the probability indirectly? What is the probability that Andrew will join hockey if every student can join only one sport? What is the probability that Andrew will join hockey if every student can join only one sport? Now this is a sitter in my view, should not take more than 15 seconds. Your clock starts now. Got it? 0.19, right? 0.19 is nothing but 19%. So this is a sitter. We have already discussed how to solve this one, right? When we're trying to understand the data. What is the percentage chance that Andrew will join hockey if every student can join only one sport? So basically, this point which says every student can join only one sport means what? The total probability of every student is 1. Yeah, like we had discussed earlier. So probability of Andrew joining hockey, which is missing here. So 1 minus the balance. So 45, 20, 65, 65 and 7 is 72 and 9 is 81. 100 minus 81 is 19 or 0.19. This is 0.19 basically, which is 19%. So option 3 is the answer. Yeah, let me present the next one. Here's the next question. What is the probability that either Adam or Andrew will join swimming? Interesting question. Let's see how many of you get the right answer. Look at the average time. Average time spent is 71 seconds for this, and the accuracy has been just 22%. So what is the probability that either Adam or Andrew will join swimming? Probability that either Adam or Andrew will join swimming. Quick. Remember, probability, he says or. Either Adam or Andrew should join swimming. Both of them cannot join. Both of them cannot join. So be careful. This would involve a little bit of calculation, but not more than 60 seconds in any case. Got it? Option 5 is what I see as the answer here. None of these. Most of you have marked option 5. But Vikram Reddy says it should be option 4, 0.31. Yeah? 0.31. 0.31. Virendra Kumar has got 36 by 200, which is 0.18. Any other response there? Okay, so let's take it up. I think most of you have got option 5 as the answer, but then many others have got option 4, 0.31. So how do we solve this? Let's see. So here we go. The question says, what is the probability that either Adam or Andrew will join swimming? Understand? It is very important to get the meaning of the question very clearly, right? Either Adam or Andrew should join swimming. Both of them cannot join. Adam and Andrew, any one of these two guys have to go for swimming, right? Any one of these two guys have to go for swimming. Both of them cannot go. Now, when is this possible? See, there are two cases possible. Probability, when he says either or, I mean either Adam joins or Andrew joins, that's the case, right? And you know that in case of probability or permutations and combinations, or would mean plus. Which operator will you use? You'll use plus, right? If it is and, you'll use multiplication. Yes or no? If it is and, both Adam and Andrew have to join swimming, then we'll multiply the two probabilities. But since it is about or, we'll have to add the two probabilities. Yeah. Now, how do we solve this? Remember that when he says either Adam or Andrew, it is like this. Either, you don't have to write this in the exam, but either Adam or Andrew, right? When is this possible? Possible in these cases, right? If Adam joins, then Andrew should not join. Or if Andrew has to join, then Adam should not join. This is what you need to do. See, a dash here, I mean, Andrew dash would mean probability of Andrew not joining swimming. AD means probability of Adam joining swimming. AD dash means probability of Adam not joining swimming. AN would mean probability of Andrew joining swimming. So dash is negative of this thing, right? So basically what I'm saying is Adam joins. Andrew does not join. And vice versa. Or, this is or Andrew joins. In that case, Adam should not join. Andrew joins, but Adam should not join. Adam does not join. See, you don't have to write this just for the sake of explanation. So how will you simplify this? See, so your answer will be equal to this. Adam, probability of Adam joining swimming, 0.27. 0.27 into probability of Andrew not joining swimming. See, the probability that Andrew can join is 0.09, which means not joining is what? 0.91. Similarly here, probability that Adam can join is 0.27. So not joining is what? 0.73. You're able to follow? 1 minus, see, probability of Adam joining swimming or not joining swimming is 1. Total probability is 1. So from 1 when I subtract 0.27, I'll get the probability of Adam not joining swimming. Similarly, from 1 when I subtract 0.09, I'll get the probability of Andrew not joining swimming. So if Adam joins, Andrew should not join. So I'll multiply 0.27 with 0.91. Or the second case, Adam should not join. Adam should not join means the probability is 0.73. But Andrew should join. Andrew joining is 0.09. Multiply this and get the required answer. Again, this will give you the final answer. So basically it's like dividing by 10,000. I mean, if you can neglect the decimals, 27 into 91 plus 73 into 9 divided by 10,000. Do the calculation, you will get approximately 0.31, right? Which is option 4. Let us not waste our time in doing the calculations here. I'm sure you can do it yourself, but that's the whole idea. Okay, if one person joins, the other should not join. If the second person joins, then the first one should not join. So take the probabilities accordingly. Okay, and since he's talking about or, we have used plus here. Clear? So 0.31, option 4 is going to be the final answer. All those who have got 0.31 are correct. Others, be careful. Okay. Should we go for the next one now? I hope all of you have followed. If there is no confusion in the concept which has been covered here, I can go to the next one. Calculations, I'll leave it to you because we are running short on time. We have to close the session by 9 o'clock. We are at 8:47 already. So let us quickly look at the remaining questions also from this data interpretation set and then close it. Yeah. So if it is clear, I can go to the next one. Calculation, I'm sure you will do it yourself. Yeah, got it? Yeah, 0.3114 is the exact answer, like what Ashish has mentioned there. Okay, let me present the next question now. The time is running by, so the next question is on your screens here. What is the probability that Adam will join anything but cricket or football? Simple one. What is the probability that Adam will join anything but cricket or football? Meaning he can join any sport, but he should not join cricket or football. He should not join cricket or football. So Adam can join hockey, can join rugby, can join swimming, but he should not join cricket or football. He should not join cricket or football. So how do you solve this? There are, see, now the biggest question mark is what is the probability that Adam will join rugby? So you can maybe find that out and then add these three, right? See, we want these three, right? So he can join hockey or rugby or swimming. So 0.20 plus question mark plus 0.27. You know how to find out question mark. Or what will a smart person do? You know that the total is 1. So from 1, if I subtract these two, I'll get the rest. So no need to find out what is question mark. I can directly say that the answer will be 1 minus 0.18 minus 0.17. So from the total probability, I'm subtracting the probability of joining cricket and the probability of joining football, which will give me the required answer. From the total probability of 1, subtract the probability of joining cricket and probability of joining football. So 18 and 17 is 35. 1 minus 0.35 will be 0.65. And option 4, 0.65 is your answer. I'm sure that's a sitter. I mean, given that you are thorough in the concepts of probability, Assuming that you're thorough in the concept of probability, you should be able to solve this very quick. Let me present the next question now. Here we go. What is the probability that Clark, Nathan and Damien will all join football? What is the probability that all three will join football? Next question. What is the probability that Clark, Nathan and Damien will all join football? All these three guys should join football. Damien, Nathan and Clark all should join football. All three should join football. All three should join football. Option 1, did you get option 1? Yes. So simple question, right? What is the probability that these three guys join football? Now understand, and Clark and Nathan and Damien, all three of them should join football. So it is multiplication, right? These are not three different cases. He's not saying either Clark or Nathan or Damien. He's saying Clark and Nathan and Damien, all three should join football. So what will I do? Probability of Damien joining football is 0.06 multiplied by probability of Nathan joining football is 0.13, and that for Clark is 0.11. That's it. So 6 into 13 into 11. Now look at the options. I mean, options are in terms of 10 to the power of minus 5, minus 6 and so on, right? So I can say this is like 6 into 13 into 11 into 10 to the power of minus 6. Each one is 10 to the power of minus 2. So 10 to the power of minus 6 is the overall decimal part there. 6 into 13 into 11. So 13 11s is 143. 143 into 6 will be 840 plus 18. 840 plus 18 is 858. Yes. So 858 into 10 to the power of minus 6. Option 1 will be the final answer. Okay. Remember, simple rule. And means multiplication, both in permutations and combinations and probability. Or means two different cases. So it has to be added. Next question on your screens now. What is the probability that either Damien or Nathan will join rugby? Now, similar to what we have done in the previous case, right? Either Andrew or Adam had to join swimming. Here, either Damien or Nathan will join rugby. Either. So, same thing again. Either Damien joining rugby is 0.26. So, Damien not joining rugby is how much? 0.74. Similarly, Nathan joining rugby is 0.24. So, not joining rugby is 0.76. So, what do? He wants either or to join. I mean, either Damien or Nathan to join rugby. So, if Damien joins, Nathan should not join. If Nathan joins, Damien should not join. This is what you need to do. So your answer will be 0.26 into 0.76, or which means plus 0.24 into 0.74. Do the calculation. I'll leave the calculation to you. I'm sure you can do it yourself. Simplify and get the answer. Okay. Followed. Similar. I mean, I think the last question that we have solved was quite similar to what we had done in case of Andrew or Adam joining football, right? Either of them had to join football. So if one person joins, if A joins, B should not join. If B joins, A should not join, right? So AB dash plus A dash B. That's the idea. Yeah, we're at 8:55 now. I think just 5 more minutes for the session to get over. So let me take up maybe 1 or 2 independent questions. One independent question before we call it a day. Yeah. We have done lots of data interpretation today. Or we can do one thing, I can also present the next DI set to you. We'll not solve all the questions, it's just the idea is to understand how to solve different arithmetic ability based questions through data interpretation. Like what we have done just now was probability. It's all about the concepts of probability, but the data was present in the form of a table. So it looks like DI which involves probability. Nothing is new, nothing is complex there. Similarly, data interpretation in terms of permutations and combinations. So I've got one graph here, I'll show it to you, which talks about 4 sets of people comprising of men and women, which are shown in the graph. Answer the questions based on the information. So I'll leave you with the graph first, understand this, and then maybe we'll solve one of these questions. There are 4 or 5 questions here, 1 or 2 of these questions, and then you can solve the rest yourself, right? I'm sure if you have access to the grade up mock papers, you will get all the questions there, and you can learn through our videos which are a part of the TalentSprint's online program. Yeah, so let's take up this one here. Try and study the data first, simple graph, before we I'm sure all of you have understood the data. So let me explain what has been given here. He says 4 sets of people comprising of men and women are shown in the line graph. Answer the questions based on the information. So the blue line here talks about number of men, the red one talks about the number of women, and he's talking about 4 sets, set 1, 2, 3, 4, and easy values to pick, right? I mean 6 women, 10 men, 8 men, 5 women, 9 women, 3 men, 6 men, and what is this, 3 women. Easy, right? I mean 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So very simple data. We know the number of men and women in different sets, in 4 different sets here. Okay, let me present a couple of questions from this one here. So here's the first one. Try to solve this. See, the average time here is 103 seconds and the accuracy is 67%. So only 2 out of every 3 students have got it right. But average time spent is 103 seconds, which is close to 2 minutes. What is the question? From set 2, 5 persons are to be selected to form a committee so that at least 3 men are there on the committee. In how many ways can it be done? It's a simple question from permutations and combinations, but the data is in terms of a line graph. So nothing new about it. You should spend about 45 seconds to get the right answer. I don't know why does it take 103 seconds. 45 seconds is ideal time in my view. Let's see how many of you get the right answer. Got it? Time is up, by the way. You should have got the answer by now. Nikhil is the first one to respond. He says it should be 699, which is option 3. Let's wait for more answers. Got it? 699, right? All of you have got 699, but Ajit says it should be 696. Ajit, Ashish, Sharmishta, these three guys have got 696. Others have got 699. Yeah, none of the above. Ravneet Singh says it should be none of the above. So let's look at it now. He says from set 2, 5 persons are to be selected to form a committee so that at least 3 men are there on the committee. In how many ways can it be done? So basically he's talking about set 2. Set 2 is this. How many men? You see 8 men. 8 men. How many women? 5 women. Yeah, 8 men, and here we've got 5 women. So basically we have got a group of, now this becomes like a regular permutations and combinations question, right? We have got 8 men and 5 women. This is a group that we have. From this group, we have to form a committee of 5 persons, right? 5 persons are to be selected to form a committee. So committee of 5 persons needed, such that at least 3 men are there in the committee. At least 3 men. So there are 3 different cases. If you observe, 3 different cases. We can have 3 men, then there will be 2 women. Yeah, makes it 5-member committee. Or remember, what is the other way? 4 men plus 1 woman. Or what's the third way? 5 men and 0 women. You understand? So there are 3 different groups that can be formed. 3 different ways in which this can be done. We can choose 3 men with 2 women, 4 men with 1 woman, 5 men with 0 women. Remember, at least 3 men. So minimum 3 men. At least is what? Minimum 3 men have to be there in the group. So minimum 3 are always there, right? 3 or more than 3. So 3 or 4 or 5. Can we take 6 men? Well, we have got a group of 8 men. We can choose 6 of them. But remember, the committee should have only 5 persons. So stop at 5. And remember, in each case, the total has to be 5. 3 plus 2 is 5. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 0 is 5. Now, after this, it's like a regular process. Right? We total 8 men, 5 women. In how many ways can you choose 3 men and 2 women? In how many ways can this be done? 3 men out of 8. 8C3 into, plus means always into, right? I mean, and. Plus means not into, but this is like 3 men and 2 women. You understand? 3 men and 2 women. And 2 women. And means into. 2 women out of 5. 5C2. Or means what? Plus. This plus this one now. What is this? Similarly, 8C4 into 5C1. Or again is plus, right? How much is this? 8C5. And we don't need any women at all. So 5C0 is 1. That doesn't really matter, right? Into 5C0 you can say, but that's actually equal to 1. 5C0 is 1. Yeah. So simplify this, and this, then add all 3 of them to get the answer. Let's do the calculation quickly. Right? 8C3 into 5C2. So 8C3 is like 8 into 7 into 6 by 3 into 2 into 5C2 is 5 into 4 by 2. Yes, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 5. So 3 into 2, 6 gets cancelled, 2 goes here 2 times. So 8 into 7, 56, 56 into 10, 5 into 2, 10, 560. So this is 560. Plus what's the other value? This one, 8C4, 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 by 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So that's like 24. Into 5C1 you know is 5. Yes or no? 8C4 is 8 into 7 into 6 into 5. 4 factorial. Denominator will have 4 factorial, which is 24. 5C1 is 5. Simplify this now. See, 8 into 6 is 48. 48 by 24 will give you 2. Yeah. Now 7 into 5, 35. 2 into 5, 10. 35 into 10, 350. Something is wrong. Hold on. 2 into 7. Sorry, 8, 6, 48 by 24 is 2. 7, 5, 35. What is, yeah, so I think nothing is wrong, right? I mean, I was swayed by the responses that you have given. Most of you said 696 or 699. I was getting more than that, so I thought I'm wrong, but let me just complete it, see what happens. So 7 5 is 35, 35 into 10, 350. Maybe the answer is more than these 2 options. Yeah. Anyway, the last one, 8C5. 8C5 is like, 8C5 will be equal to 8C3. I mean, 8C5 is 8C3. Remember, right? NCR is equal to NCN minus R. NCR is equal to NC of N minus R. So 8C5 can be taken as 8C3, which is like 8 into 7 into 6 by 3 into 2. And 5C0 is 1. NC0 is always equal to 1. So 8 into 7, 56. That's it. Add these 3 values. 560 plus 350 is 910. 910 plus 56, 966. So I think 966 should be the answer, right? Option 1. Yeah. How did you get 696 or 699? 966 I guess should be the answer. Check the calculation once again. Quickly. I mean, first of all, the concept has to be clear. Yeah, 560 plus 350 plus 56. Sorry, I got stuck here in the middle because I assumed that most of you would be correct. I thought it is a sitter and you can't be going wrong. Most of you mark 696 or 699. And after 560 and 350, I thought we have crossed the limit. So I thought something is wrong, but I think you guys were wrong. Answer is 966, option 1. Yeah. So Sagar, who is marked 699, is also wrong. 966 is the correct answer. Should we take up the next one? And why does it take 103 seconds? See, I have explained it, so it is taking so much of time, right? You just have to do those 3 different permutations. Venu Madhavi says calculations was wrong. That's why we got the wrong answer. Otherwise, the concept is clear. How does it help? Your concept should be clear. Your calculation should also be correct. You can't go wrong in your calculations. Sneha says, why is division by 13C5 not required? Because this is not probability. If it is about probability, then I will divide by 13C5. He's asking us to find out the number of ways in which it can be done. In how many ways can it be done? Number of ways is permutations or combinations, right? It's not probability. Probability, I mean, you will divide by the total number of cases when it is probability. Right? What is probability? Number of favorable cases by total number of cases. Number of ways in which you get the desired output divided by total number of outputs. In that case, you divide by 13C5 if probability is required. But here, it's not so. Okay. Let me take up one more question. Here's this will be the last question of the session. Very interesting. It's going to be lengthy. It will take at least 2 minutes for us to solve this. But I wanted to be clear with the concept first. So here's the question. Anil Kiran also had the same doubt. Anil and Sneha, I hope your confusion is cleared. So here's the next question. Next and the last one for the session today. Let's see if you get it right. He says all men in set 1 are numbered distinctly, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Then the number of ways in which 3 men and 3 women be selected and seated in a row such that in no case 2 men with even numbers sit together. Now guys, let me tell you, if you are not thorough with the concepts of permutations and combinations, you will not be able to understand this. Okay, so don't panic if you don't follow the explanation, right? I will not be discussing the basics here. For you to understand the basics, you have to watch our videos on permutations and combinations, right? We have classified all the we have lots of videos which have been classified into model 1, model 2, model 3 and so on, right? It teaches concepts one after the other. But if you are not thorough with the concept, then maybe it will be difficult to follow. Anyway, I'll leave you with this for 2 minutes or maybe 3 minutes. Try it out. I am not going to do the complete calculation anyway. I'll only explain you the concept. I mean the way you should solve it. You can play with the numbers later on. So we have, he's talking about set 1. Set 1, you know, has got 10 men and 6 women. So men are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and there are 6 women. Then we choose 3 men and 3 women and arrange them in a straight line. So in how many ways can that be done? Such that no 2 men with even numbers sit together. No 2 men with even numbers sit together. It's not a simple question. You have to consider all the possible cases and then try to get the answer. skip this question. I think the best way to solve is to skip it. I am glad that you guys have mentioned that you will skip it, right? So I'm happy that you're able to follow the strategy, but anyway, from the understanding perspective, you should solve it. You should try it out. Yeah. While you may skip it in the exam, you should solve and see if you're getting the right answer. It'll help you, broaden your permutations and combination skills, right? Good. So can you quickly confirm who all have skipped it? All right, I'm sure it's going to be difficult for many of us. Let me explain you the solution, right? Again, I repeat, for you to be able to solve this question, you must be thorough with the concepts and things like how to arrange people when you want two particular persons to be together, how to arrange people when you want no two particular persons to be together, how to put men and women in alternate positions and stuff like that. So I'm assuming all of you are thorough with your basic concepts, right? With that assumption, let me solve it for you. So I'll again not solve it. You can do the calculation yourself. Only explain you the whole process. Now, here's the question. All men in set 1 are numbered distinctly, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Then the number of ways 3 men and 3 women be selected and seated in a row such that in no case 2 men with even numbers sit together. Yeah. So first of all, he's talking about set 1. How many people are there in set 1? We have got 10 men and 6 women. Total 16 people, right? 10 men and 6 women. Yeah. Now, all the men in this group are numbered distinctly, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So, what are the 10 men? The 10 men are M1, M2, M3, M4, and so on, up to M8, M9, M10. Yeah. And 6 women. There's no numbering involved in women here, right? Now, the number of ways in which 3 men and 3 women be selected and seated. Selection and seating. Selection and arrangement means it is a permutation case. Remember, the biggest confusion that most of the students have is it permutation or combination? This is a case of permutation. It is not combination. Combination means just selection. Permutation means selection and arrangement. So here he says we have to select 3 men and 3 women, right? 3 men and 3 women be selected and seated in a row such that, now here's the condition, such that in no case 2 men with even numbers sit together. Such that in no case 2 men with even numbers sit together. So there should be no case where 2 men with even numbers are sitting together. Now since he's talking about men with even numbers, right? What do you mean by men with even numbers? See, we've got 10 men, they've got numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So there are men with even numbers, 2, 4, 8, 10, men with odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, right? So basically, how many men with even numbers are there? 5. How many men with odd numbers? 5. How many women? 6. In case of women, there is no numbering involved, right? So 6 women altogether, men with even numbers 5, men with odd numbers 5, total men 10. Yeah? Now, what do we have to do? We have to find out those cases where we are selecting 6 people, 3 men and 3 women, and arranging them in a straight line in such a way that no 2 men with even numbers are sitting together. First of all, what is the total number of cases? Total number of ways. What is the total number of ways? I have to select 3 men. Total number of ways. Forget about any condition. No condition involved. Then how do you do it? I have to select 3 men out of 10. It can be done in 10C3 ways. And I have to select 3 women out of 6. It can be done in 63 ways. So I'll get 6 persons, 3 men and 3 women. 3 men out of 10 men, 3 women out of 6 women. So total I'll get 6 persons. These 6 persons have to be arranged in a straight line. It can be done in how many ways? 6 factorial ways. So the total number of ways in which you can arrange 3 men and 3 women out of 10 men and 6 women in a straight line is 10C3 into 6C3 into 6 factorial. This first 2 numbers indicate selection, this indicates arrangement. 6 people, 6 places, 6 factorial. Now from this total number of ways, you have to subtract those cases where 2 men with even numbers are sitting together. You have to subtract all those cases where two men with even numbers are sitting together. Okay. So let's look at that. Now understand, how many men are to be selected? 3 men are to be selected. Yes or no? We are selecting 3 men. Yeah. One, we are selecting 3 men, right? Let's say 1, 2 and 3 men. Okay. Now, what are the possibilities? All the 3 men can have odd numbers. Can we select all odd number men? Yes, possible. I can get M1, M5, M7. All 3 can be odd. I can select 2 odd and 1 even. I can select all 3 even. All even numbered men. Yes or no? All 3 men whom select can be even numbered men, right? M2, M6 and M8 have come. M2, M8 and M10 have come. All 3 are even numbered men. Right? All 3, 2 can be even numbered men and 1 can be odd numbered man. Yeah. Now, what do we want? We don't want 2 men with even numbers to sit together. Like for example, M2, M4 or M2, M8 or M4, M10. These cases, all these cases are to be excluded. These are not allowed. Men with even numbers should not be seated together. You see, all these are not allowed. Now, when can this happen? This will come into picture. Men with even numbers sitting together will come into picture if and only if I have more than 2 men with even numbers. Like for example, if I have all 3 odd men, will this be there at all? No. All 3 odd men means odd. Even men are not there at all. So this case doesn't really matter. Taking 3 odd men doesn't really matter. Right? Taking 2 odd and 1 even man also doesn't really matter, because here we have got only 1 even man. If there are 2 even men, only then this problem will come, right? Only then they can be together. But when there is only 1 man with even number, there is no chance that 2 men with even number are sitting together. So this also is ruled out. But the other 2 cases have to be considered. Case 3 and case 4. Right? Case 1, case 2, case 3 and case 4. Case 3 and case 4 have to be considered. Case 1 and case 2 are eliminated. Case 1 where we get all 3 odd men. Case 2 where we get 2 odd and 1 even men have to be eliminated. Not required. But case 3, you see, all 3 are even. When all the 3 are even men, when all the 3 are even numbered men, I mean, it is possible that 2 even numbered men are together. Similarly, when 2 even numbered men and 1 odd numbered man is there, then also it is possible that these 2 even numbered men can come together. Yeah. Yeah. So total number of ways. So basically, if I now from total number of ways, if I subtract results of case 3 and case 4, I'll get the required answer. Right? So let's look at case 4 now. Results of case 4. Output of case 4. Output of case 4. Yeah. What happens? I want 2 even men. In this case, we want 2 even men and 1 odd man. 1 odd man. And of course 3 women. Now in how many ways can you do the selection in the first place? In how many ways can you select? See, I want 2 even men. Total how many even men? 5 even men. Right? So 5C2. And 1 odd man. 5C1. You're able to follow? 5C2 into 5C1. Yeah? Into 6C3. Not plus, into. Sorry. Yeah? We want 2 even men. So 5 even men, select 2. 5C2 ways. I want 1 odd man. So from 5 odd men, I'll select 1 odd man. 5C1 ways. And we want 3 women. 3 women are even needed, right? 3 women, 3 men and 3 women. So 3 men have come. Now 3 women. Out of how many women? 6 women. 63 ways. 63 ways. So this is the selection. The selection part is done. We have selected 2 odd men, 2 even men, 1 odd man and 3 women. Now the arrangement has to be done. In how many ways can they be arranged? In how many ways can they be arranged such that the 2 even men are together? Such that the 2 even men are together. Now you have to go for those cases. Remember, like for example, we have to arrange the letters of the word, let's say number. In how many ways can you arrange the letters of the word number such that the 2 vowels are together? Such that the 2 vowels U and E are together. What do? We consider the 2 vowels to be 1 unit. There are 6 letters. 6 letters can be arranged in 6 factorial ways. But then what do? We consider the letters U and E to be 1 unit only. Only 1 letter. Since they are always to be together, right? So consider them as 1 unit and then do the arrangement. And then you will get the required answer where the 2 letters are together. So here we want the 2 even men to be together. See, how many people have been selected? 6 people have been selected, right? 2 even men, 1 odd man, 3 women. 6 people have been selected. So let me give you an example, right? I think I need some space. I'll clear this part here. Yeah. What should I clear? Yeah, let me explain you in. So how do you do the arrangement? So let's say we have got ME1, M odd, and 3 women, W1, W2, W3. Okay, with respect to women, there is no condition. Now I want all the even men to be together. See, we are going to subtract these cases. From total number of cases, we are going to subtract output of C4 and output of C3. So what do? If I have to find out in how many ways can the 2 even men be together, I'll consider this to be one person. Actually, there are 6 persons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but I'll consider this to be one person. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 persons. 5 persons can be arranged in how many ways? 5 factorial ways. 5 persons can be arranged in how many ways? 5 factorial ways. And internally, these 2 men can be arranged in how many ways? 2 factorial ways. Because these are 2 even men, right? So even 1 and even 2. Even number 1 and even number 2. So it can be even number 1 followed by even number 2, or even number 2 followed by even number 1. So this will give me the number of cases where in case 4, when we have selected 2 even men and 1 odd man, all the 2 even men are together. Both the even men are together. So when both the even men are together, we consider it to be 1 unit only. So total 5 units can be arranged in 5 factorial ways. Internally, the even men can be swapped in 2 ways. So 2 factorial. So this will give you the required output of C4. Yeah, this gives the required output of C4. Now what do you have to do? Find out the output for C3. We have found the total number of ways in which all these men and women can be arranged. Now we have found the output of C4, right, where we have got 2 even men and 1 odd men. Now look at the output of C3. Output of C3. From total you have to subtract these 2, right? Output of C3. What will be the output of C3? Remember, we want 3 even men. We want 3 even men. In how many ways can you select? I can select 3 even men in 5 even men, right? So we can do it in 5 C3 ways. Sorry, this is going to be a little complex to understand if you are not thorough with the concepts, but let me explain. 5 C3 ways into 6 C3. What is this? The number of ways in which I can select 3 even men, the number of ways in which I can select 3 women. Now these 3 even men and 3 women can be arranged in how many ways? Total 6 factorial ways. Now from this, I am going to subtract those cases where 2 men are together. See, basically we don't, now this time what has happened in this case, all the 3 men that we have selected are even. All the 3 men that we have selected are even. Yeah. So we have got 3 even men. Right? It's like this: ME1, ME2, ME3, and then 3 women: W1, W2, and W3. We don't want any of these 2 even men to be together. So how do we do that? Total number of ways of arranging these 6 people is 5C3 into 6C3 into 6 factorial. From these ways, I am going to subtract all those ways where the 2 even men are together. Yes or no? Where the 2 even men are together. How do you subtract that? See, selection is again same 5C3 into 6C3 only. 5C3 into 6C3. But the arrangement is as follows. What do? Whenever you don't want any 2 even men, whenever you don't want any 2 units to be together, first arrange the other. See, this is again like that, no? In how many ways can you arrange the letters of the word number such that no 2 consonants are together or no 2 vowels are together? You don't want any consonant or any vowel to be together. So what do? If I don't want the vowels to be together, I'll first arrange the consonants. And then in the gaps, I'll arrange the vowels. If I don't want the consonants to be together, we'll first arrange the vowels and then arrange the consonants in the gaps. Similarly here, we don't want the men to be together. No 2 men should be together. So we'll first arrange the women. So 3 women can be arranged in how many ways? W1, W2, W3. These 3 women can be arranged in 3 factorial ways. 3 factorial ways. Now between women, how many places do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, these are the 4 places which can be occupied by these 3 men. These 3 men will choose any of these 4 places, any 3 of these 4 places, and then arrange themselves there. This is a very, very important concept. I am assuming you are thorough with the concept there. If not, go through the TalentSprint's online video of permutations and combinations. First, arrange the women. 3 women can be arranged in 3 factorial ways. Now, in the gaps, total how many gaps are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. The 3 men can take any of these 4 positions. And you take any of these 3 positions out of these 4, you will always find that men are separated. See, this, the 3 men are separated. This, and this, again the 3 men are separated. You're getting it? So 4 choices, but only 3 required, right? So it can be done in 4P3 ways. Or 4C3 into 3 factorial, which is also 4P3. This is the output. This is the output for C3. Now the required answer, I'll tell you. the required answer will be equal to, if I say this is x, this is y, and this is z, the required answer is x minus y minus z. Do the calculation yourself, enjoy. One of these 5 options will be the correct answer. But like you all have decided in the beginning itself, the best way to solve this question is to skip it. So like I've always said, out of 5 questions in data interpretation, 1 can be real complex. This is a real complex one. Skip and just go to the next one. Getting it? Skip and go to the next one. I'm sure many of you are confused, and I'm not going to clear that confusion myself. I want you to try it yourself, understand the use cases, and then simplify to see what the answer is. What are we doing in a summary? To summarize, we have found the total number of ways in which 3 men and 3 women can be selected and can be arranged. 10C3 into 6C3 into 6 factorial. I want to subtract those cases where 2 even men can come together. Now 2 even men have to come together, meaning first of all I should have 2 even men. Now there are 2 ways. I can have all the 3 even men, or 2 even men and 1 odd man. So when all 2 even men and 1 odd man are there, selection of 2 even men can be done in 5C2 ways. Selection of 1 odd man can be done in 5C1 ways. Selection of 3 women can be done in 63 ways. We want both the 2 even men to be together. So that can be done in, if I consider both the 2 even men to be 1 unit. So total 5 persons, 5 factorial, internal arrangement 2 factorial. Remember, this will be subtracted from total cases to get the desired output. Output of C3. We are trying to find out all those cases where the even men can be together. Yeah, so 5C3, 3 even men, 6C3, 3 women, arrangement can be done in 6 factorial ways. From this we are going to subtract all the cases where we are going to subtract all the cases where the men are separated. So the difference will give me the cases where the men are together, right? So now total number of ways minus these 2 cases will give you the required answer. I mean, try and understand. I'm sure you'll be able to follow it. It is confusing. It is lengthy. Skipping is the best way to solve it, but you should be thorough with the concepts. I mean, from the practice point of view, definitely a very interesting and a good question, I would say. Yeah, so simplify and see if you're getting the right answer. There are 2 or 3 more questions along with this data here, but you can solve it yourself, right? Follow Grade Up for those questions, and you can join the TalentSprint's online program for learning these concepts across all the topics of quantitative aptitude and reasoning ability and English language for your IBPS Prelims exam. So that's all from my side in the session today. I think we have extended by half an hour already. Apologies for the delay that has been caused. I wish I could solve more questions in this time, but time is limited. However, if you want to join us for more live sessions, explore our online programs at talentsprint.com, where we have 4 live sessions every week for the TalentSprint students, other than the refresher sessions that we have. Thank you once again for joining us. We'll meet again on the 4th of October for your exam strategy session on the IBPS PO exam, right? 4th October at 6 p.m. for the IBPS PO exam strategy. Till then, keep practicing and take very good care of yourselves. Bye.